martial arts of Kung Fu. America first heard of Kung Fu in the 1970s from Bruce Lee and the popular Kung Fu TV show. Today, few people understand its mysterious power. You are about to witness one of the most rare and dangerous forms of Kung Fu. Welcome to the world of QiGong, the cultivation of internal power, and the world's first ever international competition of these special feats. The tournament vice president commented, "This competition was controversial. People think QiGong is fake. Others worry that kids would imitate it and get hurt. But we all wanted to see if some special skills are really buried here. This is the first step of a difficult road." The arts of QiGong are very dangerous. Can perform these skills only after years of difficult training. Even the smallest error can result in severe injury. Remember, don't try this at home. Although it has come to mean martial arts in the West, the word Gong Fu really means high skill acquired after great sacrifice. You can have Gong Fu skill in any art, such as dance, music, painting, and so on. The most challenging arts are the martial arts, since this is the life or death fight for your survival. The real Chinese word for martial arts is wushu. But to be a master of wushu, you must have great Gong Fu, so it is more commonly referred to as such. The most mysterious and powerful form of Gong Fu is called QiGong. QiGong literally means breathwork. The ancients connected breath with the spirit. This is why the word spirit shares roots with words like respiration and inspiration. Qi is the vital essence, what separates a living being from a dead body, and fine art from the mediocre. The core of Gong Fu is to cultivate Qi. Traditionally, there are two types of Kung Fu tournaments. The first is a forms competition. In forms competition, athletes recite pre-choreographed movements, like in gymnastics. The movements have been selected and arranged for the utmost level of difficulty. Many of these forms have been passed down and perfected for generations. Forms can be practiced alone or with partners, as well as armed or unarmed. Armed partner forms are extremely dangerous. The slightest miscalculation can end in disaster. The second type of Kung Fu tournament is a fighting match. Unlike kickboxing, Kung Fu fighting matches are not held in a ring. They take place on an elevated stage. Just before the matches began, it rained, adding a slippery stage to the hazards the athletes had to face. Points are earned in three ways: striking the opponent, forcing the opponent to fall, or knocking the opponent off the stage. In China, minimal protective gear is used, just lightweight boxing gloves. Unique to this tournament, the stage is set in a pool so that competitors get knocked off into the water. Chinese martial arts are the most diverse methods of self-defense in the world. Ancient masters trained in all manners of fighting skills, from fighting matches such as this one to imitative boxing, where masters imitated the fighting styles of tigers, snakes, eagles, and even dragons. There are even styles where the master acts as a drunk or a cripple to deceive the opponent into an unguarded moment. All of these styles are generally considered as an external manifestation of physical strength. Within them also lie methods to cultivate internal power. This internal power is QiGong, and its study was reserved for those who had already mastered the external physical skills, like forms or fighting. But, like yin and yang, internal is connected to external. QiGong has fighting applications. To endure the punishment of combat, as well as to deliver the most devastating of strikes. Martial artists study how to channel the chi power within their body. Once this is mastered, they can perform superhuman feats. They can break objects like bottles, bricks, wood poles, and metal bars with any part of their body. They can also withstand crippling blows. This is called hard QiGong, or martial QiGong. In Kung Fu, it is also nicknamed Iron Body. The most common demonstration of QiGong prowess is breaking. Masters use their hands, feet, arms, legs, even their heads to break hard, solid objects. Photographer Song Shufan documented many of these extraordinary feats by the monks of Shaolin Temple, famous for martial arts. But there are other more exotic demonstrations of QiGong beyond breaking. Here, photographer Song documented a Shaolin monk demonstrating his powers by licking a red-hot shovel. And here, Master Pu Da Dun of Hebei demonstrated his unusual skill by preventing a live snake from penetrating his throat after it has threaded through his nostril. And here, photographer Song documented a Shaolin monk that could lift heavy stones using only his testicles. One of the competitors, Grandmaster Alexander Tao, demonstrates some of his QiGong feats. The renowned trainer of the Chinese military and police, as well as a Guinness Book of World Records holder for pressing several bricks against a wall, suspending them with only one of his fingers. His record now stands at 13 bricks, each 5 centimeters thick, suspended for 23 seconds. He is a master of iron finger and can perform a one-finger handstand and snap steel wire with his fingertips. Every QiGong master has his special skills. In order to standardize this competition, every competitor had to participate in 2 compulsories, the common feat of brick breaking and the unusual feat of throwing a needle through a pane of glass. After that, they could perform their personal feat of expertise, such as standing on your head and eating glass, were measured subjectively. The QiGong competition you are about to witness is the first of its kind. It introduced a new type of Kung Fu tournament. It was during May 22nd to 26th in 1999 when more than 1,000 competitors gathered at this unprecedented tournament in Taizhou, Zhejiang province of the People's Republic of China. 24 countries were represented, with 28 teams from mainland China. The footage you are about to see is the only media coverage ever presented outside of China. We take you now to the on-water contest of the Lichun Cup International Traditional Wushu and Unique Feats Tournament. All the competitors had to demonstrate their skill in brick breaking as one of the compulsory events. This contest did not permit spacers between the bricks, which is a standard trick when breaking. Without spacers, this feat is much more difficult. Iron hand, or iron palm, is one of the most famous of Kung Fu QiGong skills. Practitioners begin by striking a soft material, such as mung beans, every day. Special exercises used with massage and secret herbal liniments slowly build up the power in the strike. Eventually, the practitioner moves to striking gravel, then iron shot. The ancients believed that the practitioner's hand absorbed the poison rust from the iron, and that the lineaments counteracted this poison. But when needed, an iron palm master could summon that poison and project it into an opponent's body with a light but lethal slap. According to legend, this would leave a rust-colored hand imprint on the victim. Here, a master breaks several single bricks in succession. The master must not only exert his power to break each brick, he must also maintain his concentration for as long as possible. One lapse, and he could easily break his hand instead of the brick. This master is breaking several thick pine boards with his punch. When watching breaking feats, keep in mind that when the target does not break, all of that energy goes back to the master, and he has a greater chance of being injured. QiGong mastery is not limited to men. Watch these army women break boards with a slap of their hand. Note how thick these boards are. The second compulsory was throwing a needle through a pane of glass. These needles are thicker than sewing needles, but slimmer than nails. Not every competitor was successful. This is a very difficult feat, but a master of this skill need never be unarmed. Here, masters use their bare hands to drive nails through wood boards. second master here is using a 5 centimeter thick white pine board and 3-inch nails. Ever accidentally hit yourself while trying to hammer in a nail? If that was painful, imagine the power within these masters' hands.
现在上场的是2号选手山东的夏根，他的参赛项目是空断。
This master is breaking 3 hanging metal bars. This takes extreme focus. If not exactly right, the bar will just fall off the stand. These masters are breaking cement slabs. Again, the object is not supported, making this a very difficult break. Imagine what would happen if they struck your collarbone. This is another difficult metal bar breaking demonstration. Here, only 2 bricks support the bar. Here, this young woman gives a demonstration of her iron body skills. Her small frame is deceptive. Watch as she breaks these solid wood rods. This master demonstrates his amazing strength by wrapping a metal bar around his forearm. This requires incredible power to both push and pull, as well as tremendous grip strength. Here, ceramic roof tiles are being broken using just the fingertips. This is a traditional demonstration for fighters who train to strike pressure points and poke out eyes. In this demonstration, Grandmaster Tao, who we saw in the beginning, uses his fingers to snap pieces of metal wire. His power to pinch and grab is truly awesome.
现在场上的这名运动员是来自山东淄博锦泉道国际总部的曹忠谦，他正在表演的项目是鹰爪功加8号铁丝。
Here, this master performs some one-finger push-ups. This requires extreme focus as well as strength. Some QiGong masters spend years training their fingertips to be like swords. They can pierce flesh and destroy sensitive pressure points. Here you will see the unbelievable power within these masters' fingertips, enough strength to support their own bodies in air. Channeling all of your qi into your fingertips takes years of practice and discipline. Like all qigong techniques, it must be developed slowly over time, adding a little more skill each day. At the highest level of this skill, a master can perform a one-finger handstand while leaning their legs against a wall. Only a few masters had ever been able to achieve this. The most famous master of our generation was an elderly monk of the famous Shaolin Temple, where Gongfu and Zen Buddhism originated. Some eyewitness accounts reported that monk Haitang could still perform this feat as an old man. In the world of Qigong, these finger handstands fall into a special category called light Qigong. Light Qigong encompasses all of the skills that appear to make the body lighter, such as these amazing finger handstands. Other light Qigong methods involve esoteric meditation techniques and special exercises. Some practitioners wear weights fastened all over their bodies for several months in a row to improve their jumping or climbing skills. According to legend, some masters achieve the ability to levitate or even fly.
这一式是叫仙鹤渡水。双手的拇指和中指并点在四个杯子上。
This master demonstrates his iron body skills against wood poles, cement slabs, and metal bars. The impact of these blows would severely injure an ordinary person. Here, an iron body master allows two of his comrades to kick him using full force. And then he withstands strikes to his belly with a huge log. Such power comes from strengthening the body and internal organs over years of practice. In this traditional demonstration of Qigong, this master balances on his belly on top of a sharp trident. Although it causes a deep indentation, the master is unharmed.
In
a modern version, a young soldier balances on his belly on top of a sharp rifle bayonet. Once up, he thanks the judges for their just appraisal of his skills. Another feat is Iron Head. Here, a master uses his head to lift heavy weights. This young and extremely flexible soldier uses meditation to bring his chi to his head. He uses his head to break 2 thick metal bars. Breaking 2 bars this way is very difficult. This master uses his head to break a cement slab. In this demonstration, these masters break bottles over their heads. Here, not only is the impact a factor, but the glass shards can easily cut open their heads. They must be extremely careful to shake the broken glass out of their hair and face between each break.
Vamos começar com um monge guerreiro que alega ser capaz de tornar seu corpo duro como aço. O que você está prestes a ver é real. Alguns desses testes são extremamente perigosos e podem causar ferimentos graves ou até levar à morte. Não tentem realizar esses testes.
Indestrutível, Kuala Lumpur, Malásia.
Nesta etapa da jornada, Stan me mandou para Kuala Lumpur, na Malásia, para encontrar um dos lendários monges Shaolin. Há 1500 anos, existem rumores de que estes monges utilizavam uma energia invisível como escudo, conhecida como Chi, que dizem conceder a eles habilidades incríveis. Mas QiGong alega levar o poder do Chi a um nível insano, e ele diz ser indestrutível. Eu quero fazê-lo chegar ao limite para descobrir se ele realmente é um super-humano.
QiGong, o indestrutível.
Eu trouxe comigo um engenheiro biomecânico para testemunhar QiGong em ação e descobrir se a ciência pode explicar seus poderes de Shaolin. E o que faz de você indestrutível?
Eu estou exercitando e transferindo o Chi para os lugares certos do meu corpo e batendo em meu corpo o máximo que eu posso suportar. Até que ele esteja tão forte quanto uma armadura de aço.
Maravilha, Hu. Mostra o que sabe fazer. Para sua primeira demonstração Shaolin, Hu entortará uma sólida barra de aço, usando apenas seu crânio. Isso aqui é só uma peça de metal. O que você acha?
Isso é uma coisa que eu não indicaria com certeza.
Mas primeiro, ele precisa preparar seu corpo para usar seu Chi como escudo. Nossa, você ficou impressionado?
Com certeza é uma façanha impressionante, mas eu acho que a física explica um pouco como isso acontece. Não tem nada aqui que o leva ao limite da tolerância humana.
Dan acredita que isso não passa de física simples. A próxima demonstração de Hu, em estilo Shaolin, é aberta para apostas. Os monges sempre foram conhecidos por suas habilidades com armas, especialmente com a lança. Mas Hu está prestes a colocar todo o peso de seu corpo sobre 3 lanças tradicionais. Um bloco de 40,5 kg de granito será colocado sobre suas costas e ele será esmagado com uma marreta. E mais uma vez, QiGong se prepara usando apenas o poder do Chi. Uma pequena escorregada e a lança pode rasgar sua traqueia. Nossa, isso foi bem forte.
É, foi impressionante.
O que você achou disso tudo?
Acho que sempre que você tiver uma coisa bastante afiada perto da sua traqueia, está correndo perigo. Dá pra ver a marca no peito dele.
E o que você acha? Ele é indestrutível?
Não acho que seja indestrutível, mas foi uma façanha impressionante.
Ele pode estar impressionado, mas Dan não está convencido de que isso prove a existência do Chi. Agora, vou levar Hu para um nível novo, para descobrir se ele pode usar sua habilidade para aguentar o poder mortal de uma furadeira, sendo forçada contra seu estômago, garganta e, finalmente, contra sua cabeça. Deixa eu ver... Bom, a furadeira funciona, então como é que a gente vai descobrir se ele tá fazendo isso pra valer ou não?
Eu vou usar esses transdutores de pressão no cabo da furadeira, que vai gravar quantos quilos por centímetro quadrado foram pressionados.
Então vamos lá. O que Hu está prestes a fazer é extremamente perigoso. Ele vai pressionar uma furadeira elétrica contra seu próprio corpo. Isso pode causar ferimentos a uma pessoa comum ou mesmo matá-la. Não tentem fazer isso em casa. Tá pronto? Isso foi de verdade. Deu pra ver a pele dele sendo torcida. Hu agora se prepara para furar a própria garganta. Cara. Nossa, não teve truque nenhum nisso aí. Dá pra ver o sangue. Tem até sangue na furadeira. Como é que não atravessa o pescoço dele? O que acontece?
Eu não sei. Dá pra ver que ele a pressiona contra a sua primeira camada de pele. Mas por que não vai além disso, eu não sei.
Atravessou a madeira.
Atravessou.
Mas eu quero saber se Hu está segurando a furadeira ou se ele realmente a pressiona contra seu corpo.
Dá pra ver bem que nós temos uma variação entre 5 e 9 quilos por centímetro quadrado.
Eu só quero ter certeza do que está acontecendo. Sendo 9 quilos por centímetro quadrado, isso significa que temos 9 quilos de pressão contra a garganta dele?
Toda essa força está pressionando o pescoço dele. Se a área do cabo onde ele segura a furadeira contra o pescoço tiver cerca de 5 centímetros, então na realidade a furadeira estaria exercendo uma pressão de 45 quilos contra o pescoço dele.
Tá, e se a broca da furadeira fosse menor, ela aumentaria a pressão? Porque ela tem menos de 3 centímetros, tem 1,5 centímetros.
Correto. Quanto menor for a broca, maior é a pressão contra o pescoço dele.
Então, teoricamente, a pressão poderia chegar a 90 quilos.
Isso mesmo, chegaríamos a 90 quilos de força.
Os dados confirmam que Hu está sofrendo uma pressão de 90 quilos. É como se tivesse um boxeador de peso pesado pressionando a furadeira. E isso é suficiente para perfurar aço. Agora está na hora de Hu furar a cabeça. Muito bem, tá pronto? Vamos lá. Mais uma vez, os dados confirmam que Hu está suportando uma pressão de 90 quilos por centímetro quadrado.
É bastante difícil averiguar como um indivíduo pode fazer uma coisa dessas sem se machucar. É impressionante.
Então é um mistério.
Sem dúvida, para mim, é um mistério.
Parece que os monges Shaolin encontraram o segredo para transformar sua energia Chi em escudo, realizando assim façanhas realmente sobre-humanas. E QiGong é a prova viva de que seus corpos podem se tornar indestrutíveis. Mas esse próximo
than human. This is Master Zhou, a 71-year-old teacher and practitioner of an ancient Chinese discipline called QiGong. Master Zhou started training in this martial art at the age of 7 and has practiced it ever since. He claims he can use his skill to withstand heat on his skin, enough heat to leave the average person burned, blistered, scarred.
To really have the level of qi to control heat takes a very long time.
Actually, what he does is a lot like firewalking. Only instead of using his feet, Master Zhou uses his hands and even his tongue. The ancient art of firewalking across a bed of coals has been practiced in different cultures for thousands of years. For some, it was a custom to prove bravery. For others, it was a ritual on the way to manhood. And for some, an indication of one's faith in the gods. But despite its varied uses, it can easily be explained by science. As a person walks across the bed of hot coals, the soles of the feet are protected from burns in several ways. First, the human body keeps the temperature of the skin and foot close to 98.6 degrees, and it takes quite a bit of heat to change that. Also, the soot on the surface of coals insulates the feet from the hottest temperatures. But even if Master Zhou's routine is part illusion and part courage, like the firewalkers, it still is playing with fire. Bottom line, it's extremely risky and dangerous. So how does he do it? Is there something special about his body? His pain tolerance? Is it mind over matter? Is Master Zhou more than human? We brought him and his interpreter, Georgia Wang, to our test facility to find out in an investigation led by our team physician, Dr. Robert Satari. First, we tested Zhou's ability to absorb heat with his hands under the precise scrutiny of our cameras and experts.
Now, before we start, can I examine your hands? Now, there's no serious burns or any burns at all.
Has he ever injured himself before doing these things?
Never.
We will also use a special thermal camera to document the entire experiment.
Right there?
Like a mood ring, this camera will read, identify, and report exactly how hot things are with color-coded images. Test 1. This is a flame-broiled iron chain, the kind you would find in a hardware store. And yes, he's going to touch it with his bare hands. Don't ever try this at home.
This thing is white hot.
We've all heard the phrase red hot, which sounds and is pretty darn hot. About 1,450 degrees Fahrenheit, actually. But that's not hot enough for the master. So we went to white hot, 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to melt stainless steel.
Can we bring the lights down just a tad bit, guys, to look at this? Look at this. Yeah, touch it with your... So how hot this actually... Oh, look at that. This is newspaper.
Master Zhou will attempt to run his bare hands across the white-hot iron chain. Repeat, never try this at home.
Focusing. Just a little bit of soot, but no burns, it doesn't. Is there any burns on there, doctor?
No. No, there's just some...
Can you do it one more time?
Can we see it once more?
Even at this point, that iron chain is at least 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Back and forth. And nothing.
Watch that again.
How does it appear, doctor?
Nothing, just some soot and no burns. And do you feel okay?
You probably think it's all about the hands, right? That thought crossed our minds. So we challenged our 71-year-old QiGong master to demonstrate another of his amazing skills. Placing a white-hot iron bar against his bare tongue.
Okay, here we go, right on the tongue.
He's licking it.
Because you can see the steam coming out of there.
We know what you're thinking, but let's look at it again from a different angle. His tongue is really touching that red-hot bar. He's licking that slab of metal like it's a cherry popsicle.
Good. Up. He's got full function. He's moving it. There's no blisters. There's nothing, no indication of a burn.
So far, we've performed these tests under close medical scrutiny. Our reaction? Amazement, sure. Bafflement, absolutely. And also a burning desire, no pun intended, to up the ante. So the master offered to bite a piece of hot iron in half.
Red hot metal.
That sounds like he's upping the ante. Again, very dangerous. Don't even think of trying this at home. You could do permanent damage to your mouth, lips, and tongue.
I'm ready, let's eat.
Cigarette.
I don't smoke. I don't smoke. I'm allergic to cancer. There we go. Lit the cigarette.
Amazing. Tell him he should stop smoking. It's not good for him.
Let's watch that again. How does he do this? I mean, this guy is really playing with fire here. Let's face it, he should be a dust bunny after what he's done. So let's think this through. Okay, first, even though we know that this routine has its roots in firewalking, the camera doesn't lie. The master is actually touching and licking extremely hot metal. So his hands and tongue must absorb a great deal of heat. Is this a case of mind over matter? Does his practice of QiGong meditation play a role in his amazing abilities? Perhaps, like the firewalker's feet, the master's hands and tongue can endure a certain amount of exposure to the heat before the skin starts to burn. In addition, the iron chain and bar appear to have some coal soot on them, which could insulate Master Joe from the heat. Whatever the case, we witnessed something pretty amazing.
This is just incredible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. How do you say in Chinese, you're more than human?
超人.
Chaorin? Chaorin. Chaorin. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
However, the most profound wisdom and the most mysterious power of Kung Fu is called QiGong. Through breathing and a series of systematic movements, QiGong produces a type of energy called Qi. The Chinese believe that Qi, or energy, normally resides in a place they call Dantian in the lower abdomen. Once you can freely direct this energy to a particular part of the body, you can produce enormous power. Direct the Qi to your arm as you throw a needle, and it can pierce a piece of glass. Used correctly, Qi can make any part of the body as hard as steel. The crown of the head can break iron plates, bricks, sticks, and stones. Hands can smash bricks, and break sticks. Feet can splinter rocks. And a staff. Even the most delicate parts of the body can become immune to scimitar or spear attack. The stomach can resist a trident stab, or can break sticks. The throat can resist attack by spear.
不是说这些什么兵器都不能伤，因为枪之后啊，他们都是恩气功的一种，都属于恩气，就是把这个气布局，这个外层内练一口气，外练那个筋骨皮，这个皮，他这个把这个气充足以后，你的外界东西打不透的一般。
In the past, the mysterious QiGong was regarded as mystical or even as magic by some. But studies have found that the qi movements within the body can be tracked by a heat detector. Of course, the only way to maximize the qi energy is by repeating the exercises day after day. The human fists are fragile. Although often used in attacks, fists are prone to damage. If you wish to be more powerful, you must strengthen them. Place a piece of paper on a wall. Punch it for 2 hours without stopping. Replace the paper when it's broken. The wall may deteriorate, but eventually the hand becomes immune. The brain is the most important organ of the human body. Serious injury or damage to the brain can be fatal. To protect it, the skull must be strengthened. All you have to do is hit your skull with your palms for 2 hours every day to harden it. Then bang your head against a sandbag for 2 hours to train it to resist the shock of an attack. Hard QiGong masters believe that the skull becomes up to 4 times harder than that of a normal person after 2 years of such continuous practice. Another very delicate part of the body, the neck, is particularly vulnerable to attack. Injuries here can lead to paralysis and death. A headstand lowers the weight of the entire body onto the neck. Practice an hour every day for a year, and then you can progress to neck hanging. The iron neck exercise consists simply of hanging by the neck from a cloth noose. At first, it is only bearable for 2 to 3 seconds, but eventually the body can be supported for minutes at a time, by which time you'll have mastered the technique. The iron neck is very useful in actual combat. It enables you to free yourself and counterattack should your enemy have your neck in an arm lock.